You step off the transport shuttle. The air on Helios station feels old. It smells of sterilized metal and ozone. Gravity generators hum beneath your feet. They create a gentle, reassuring pressure. You are the new human ambassador. Your mission is to foster peace. It already feels like an impossible task. The station is a marvel of engineering. It hangs in the deep black of space. It orbits a yellow star named Helios. This star is the system's heart. The station is a city of gleaming towers. Great rings connect its different sectors. Ships from a dozen species drift nearby. They wait for clearance to dock. You walk down the polished causeway. Beings of incredible diversity move around you. Some are crystalline, others are biological clouds held in containment fields. They all give you a wide berth. Humanity is the newcomer here. The loud, ambitious upstarts of the galaxy. The members of the conclave watch you. They are the elder ones, beings who mapped galaxies when Earth was still cooling. Their expressions are hard to read, but their disdain is perfectly clear. It hangs in the air like a bitter cold. You feel their judgment with every step you take. They see you as a child playing with fire, a primitive creature in their sacred hall. To them, your species is a brief candle, a flicker of light in an eternal night. They do not believe you belong here. You can almost hear them thinking it. They look at you as if you had just asked to borrow their favorite nebula, and you promised you would bring it back in one piece. This was going to be fun. Your quarters are modest but functional. A wide viewport dominates one wall. It shows the slow, majestic turn of the station. Beyond it, the star Helios burns. It is a constant, brilliant presence. The light it casts is warm and golden. It feels like a piece of home in this cold, alien place. You are not here just for diplomacy. You carry a secret directive from Earth Command, a warning about a threat from the void, a threat the conclave has chosen to ignore. Your job is to make them listen, before it is too late for everyone. You look out at the burning star. You wonder if anyone here understands the real fires that are coming. A chime sounds at your door. A service drone delivers a data slate. It contains your schedule for the next cycle. Meetings with trade guilds and cultural delegates. All of it feels like a distraction. The real meeting is with the Grand Praetor, the leader of the conclave. That is the one that matters. You take a deep breath. The station's recycled air tastes flat. You smooth the front of your uniform. It feels stiff and formal. You are a representative of your entire species. No pressure at all. You have a job to do. Time to show these ancient aliens what humanity is made of. The conclave chamber is vast. Its ceiling is a dome of projected starlight. It shows the galaxy in real time. The Grand Praetor sits on a raised throne. He is a being of pure light and energy, contained within a suit of obsidian armor. His voice echoes in your mind, not your ears. He regards you without welcome. A silent, piercing gaze. The other conclave members float in their designated pods. They radiate an aura of immense age and power. You feel like a microbe under a microscope. You present your credentials. You speak of peace and mutual prosperity. The words feel hollow even to you. The praetor dismisses you with a wave of his hand. Your audience is over before it truly began. You are sent away like a child. You walk back through the silent halls. The disdain is no longer just a feeling. It is a certainty. They will not listen. They will not prepare. And you know, with chilling clarity, that you are all running out of time. A coded message arrives on your private comms channel. It is from Alliance Intelligence. The single line of text makes your blood run cold. One word, confirmed. The Keiki Thar are on the move. Your secret directive is now active. The real mission has begun. The news spreads like a virus through the station's network. Not the full truth you received, just whispers and rumors. A mining outpost in the outer system went silent. A long-range patrol vanished without a trace. The Conclave dismisses these events. They call them common stellar phenomena. You know better. This is how it begins. The Kek Thar are a plague upon the stars, a swarm of biological warships. They consume entire civilizations for resources. They leave nothing behind but dead worlds. They are not conquerors. They are harvesters, and they have just entered this system. You request an emergency session with the Conclave. You are made to wait for hours. The delay is a deliberate show of power. They want you to feel insignificant. They want you to understand your place. But fear is a great motivator. You will not be silenced. Finally, you stand before them again. The great dome of stars above seems to mock you. You present your intelligence, encrypted fleet signatures of the K, Thar, their last known trajectory, their estimated arrival time. The evidence is undeniable. The Grand Praetor listens. His form shimmers with faint annoyance. The other elder ones murmur to each other. Their thoughts are like the rustling of dry leaves. They do not see a threat. They see an opportunity to put the upstart humans in their place. They believe their technology is invincible, their defenses impenetrable. One of them speaks, an ancient being whose body is a network of glowing crystals. His name is Lai Sarin. He says your data is flawed, your source is unreliable. He suggests human paranoia is the real enemy. The other members agree with smug certainty. They speak of their defensive grid, a network of energy shields and weapon platforms. It has protected them for 10,000 years. They say it can repel any foe. They cannot imagine a force it cannot stop. Their pride has made them blind. They have forgotten how to be afraid. You look at their serene, arrogant faces. You realize you are not just fighting the K Thar. You are fighting centuries of tradition, an empire built on the belief in its own perfection. It is a fortress of the mind, and it is more formidable than any starship. You feel a surge of frustration and a cold knot of dread. The Conclave officially rejects your warning. The session is closed. They tell you to cease your fear-mongering. They say it disrupts the harmony of the station. You are dismissed again. But this time, you feel a new resolve. If they will not act, you will. Humanity did not survive this long by waiting for permission. You must now invoke the second part of your directive, a plan so audacious, so dangerous. It was only approved as a last resort. The station's star, Helios, is your target. You have to find a way to turn it into a weapon powerful enough to stop a swarm that eats suns for breakfast. And you have to do it without the Conclave knowing. The impossible task just became something much, much worse. You stand before the Conclave. You propose a new strategy, a human strategy, based on principles of asymmetric warfare. You talk about proactive defense, about striking first, about using unorthodox tactics against a predictable foe. You suggest laying traps in the outer system, using asteroid fields for cover. The elder ones are not impressed. The Grand Praetor dismisses your ideas with a gesture. He calls them primitive, reckless. The thoughts he projects are laced with scorn. He says your species thinks with its fists, that you lack subtlety. It is like explaining color to a creature born in darkness. Lai Sor, the crystalline being, speaks again. He calls your plans the work of a desperate species. He says true power is in resilience, not aggression. He explains their philosophy of defense. They will wait for the enemy to come. They will absorb the first blow. They will demonstrate their superiority through endurance. You try to argue. You explain that the Thar do not care about demonstrations. They are not looking for a noble battle. They are a force of nature, like a flood or a fire. You do not endure a fire. You put it out, or you run. Your words are lost in their echo chamber of self-assurance. They have fought wars you can only read about. They have defeated empires that rose and fell before humanity learned to write. Who are you to tell them how to fight? This young, loud species that still pollutes its own cradle. They laugh. It is not a sound you hear with your ears. It is a wave of condescending amusement that washes over you. It feels like being patted on the head. They find your passion quaint, your urgency amusing. It is the most infuriating experience of your life. You are formally forbidden from acting on your own. Any unsanctioned military action will be seen as a breach of treaty. You would be expelled from the station. Earth would be blacklisted from the galactic community. They have trapped you. They have tied your hands with their laws and their pride. You leave the chamber, your jaw tight with anger. Their arrogance will be their tomb, and it might be yours as well. You walk through the corridors of Helios Station. The calm and order feel like a lie, a beautiful mask on a dying face. An aide approaches you. She is a young human officer from your staff. She tells you the transport logs show something interesting. Several large shipments of refined plasma conduits and advanced gravitic emitters. They were delivered to the Lorian sector. The Low, Ryans are known as builders and engineers, not warriors. A thought begins to form in your mind. A desperate, dangerous thought. The Conclave has rejected your plan. But the Conclave is not every species on this station. Perhaps you have been speaking to the wrong people. Perhaps you do not need the approval of the ancient and the proud. Perhaps you just need a partner who knows how to build things. You make your way to the Lorian sector. The architecture here is different, functional, elegant, and humming with power. It lacks the cold, monumental feel of the Conclave's domain. The air itself seems to vibrate with creative energy. This is a place where things are made. The Low, Ryans are tall, slender beings. Their skin has the pale sheen of ceramic. Their large, dark eyes are filled with a calm intelligence. They are a stark contrast to the dismissive Elder Ones. They greet you not with suspicion, but with curiosity. Their leader is an engineer named Lara. You are brought to her workshop. It is a cavernous space filled with holographic blueprints. Tools of unknown function line the walls. A half-finished starship engine sits in the center of the room. It glows with a soft, inner light. This is not a place for politicians. It is a place for creators. Lara offers you a seat. She does not speak through telepathy. Her voice is soft, with a melodic cadence. She asks you why a human ambassador has come to her. She has already heard of your failed plea to the Conclave. The news travels fast. You decide to be direct. You tell her you respect the Lorian people. You admire their skill and their ingenuity. You tell her you believe the Conclave is wrong, that their pride has blinded them to the coming storm. Her expression remains calm, but you see a flicker of something in her dark eyes. Agreement. She tells you the Lorians are builders. They do not seek conflict. They are bound by the Conclave's laws. They are a peaceful people. But she also admits they have studied the Thar. Their analysis is much closer to yours than to the Conclave's. They know the danger is real. This is your opening. You tell her that building is not just about creating new things. It is also about protecting what already exists. You tell her you have a plan, a way to protect the station, a way to stop the Thar. But it is a plan that requires the finest engineers in the galaxy. She listens patiently. She does not interrupt. She does not dismiss you. Her gaze is steady and thoughtful. For the first time since arriving on this station, you feel a glimmer of hope. You have found someone who is willing to listen, someone who understands that ignoring a problem does not make it go away. You tell her your plan is unconventional. It breaks several conclave laws. It is incredibly dangerous. She simply nods. Her calm demeanor is unsettling, yet reassuring. She seems to have been waiting for this conversation, waiting for someone to finally speak the truth. A quiet alliance begins to form in the heart of the humming workshop, a partnership whispered into existence while the old powers sleep. You take a deep breath. You lay it all out for Lara. You call it the Starfire Initiative. The name has a nice dramatic flair. Earth Command was good at things like that. The plan itself is simple in concept, terrifying in its implications. You propose using Helios Station itself as the core component of a weapon that focuses the energy of the star it orbits. You want to trigger a directed solar flare, a controlled eruption of stellar plasma, a spear of sunfire aimed directly at the incoming Thar fleet. It is a weapon of last resort. Liara does not react at first. She just stares at you. Her large, dark eyes are unblinking. The silence in the workshop stretches for a long time. The only sound is the low hum of the unfinished engine. You start to think you have made a terrible mistake, that you have revealed your insanity to the one person who might have helped. Then she lets out a low sound, a soft, musical hum. It is the Lorian equivalent of a long, slow whistle. She looks at the holographic schematics floating in the air. Then she looks back at you. She says one word, madness. But there is no fear in her voice. There is awe. There is the thrill of an impossible challenge. She sees it not as a plan for destruction. She sees it as the ultimate engineering problem. She says the energy required would be immense. The calculations for the magnetic containment field would be staggering. The potential for catastrophic failure is almost 100%. You agree with all of it. You tell her human science has a theory, but your people lack the materials and the fine control to make it work. Your species can light the match, but you need the Lorians to build the cannon. You need their expertise in gravitic lensing, their mastery of plasma containment. She walks over to a console. Her slender fingers dance across the surface. A new schematic appears in the air. It is a model of the star, Helios, and the station orbiting it. She begins to run simulations, modifying the station's energy grid, rerouting power from non-essential systems. She points out the flaws in your theory, the points of failure. She does not do it to discourage you. She does it to find solutions. Her mind is a whirlwind of creative problem-solving. It is breathtaking to watch. She is not just considering your plan. She is already improving it. You tell her this must be kept secret. If the Conclave discovers it, they will stop you. They will see it as an attempt to destroy the star, to threaten the entire system. They would call you monsters. Maybe they would be right. Lara looks up from her console. A small, almost imperceptible smile plays on her lips. She says the Conclave has grown complacent. They have forgotten what it means to innovate, what it means to take risks. She tells you that sometimes, to prevent a fire, You must be willing to play with one. The Starfire Initiative is born in that moment. A desperate plan forged in a secret workshop. Between a reckless human and a brilliant Lorian engineer, the two of you stand before the glowing image of a sun. You're about to try and tame it. It's probably the worst idea in galactic history. And right now, it's the only one you've got. The work begins in the dead of night. In the deepest, most forgotten levels of the Lorian sector, you and Lara assemble a small, trusted team. A handful of human technicians with security clearance. A dozen Lorian engineers who value survival over tradition. Every one of them knows the risk. You move equipment under the cover of cargo transfers. Advanced human computation cores are labeled as food processors. Lorian plasma conduits are listed as decorative lighting fixtures. It's a terrible plan for secrecy. It feels like hiding a battleship by calling it a canoe. You hope the station's bureaucracy is as inefficient as it seems. The secret workshop becomes your entire world. The hum of power converters is a constant companion. The air smells of hot metal and charged particles. You work in shifts, sleeping only when exhaustion claims you. The project consumes you. You must share forbidden knowledge. Human military science is a restricted technology. The Conclave fears its potential for disruption. Lorian energy manipulation is a closely guarded secret. It is the foundation of their economic power. Now, you lay it all on the table. Your technicians show the Lorians your theories on stellar ignition. The Lorians show your team how to build stable magnetic bottles capable of containing the energy of a small sun. It is a fusion of two different philosophies of science, human audacity and Lorian precision. The results are astonishing. Progress is faster than you dared to hope. The shared knowledge creates breakthroughs. Problems that would take months to solve are overcome in days. A new energy dampener is invented. A more efficient targeting matrix is designed. You are building something the galaxy has never seen. But the secrecy takes a toll. The constant fear of discovery is a heavy weight. Every unexpected comms call makes you jump. Every footstep in the corridor outside could be Conclave security. You are traitors in the eyes of the law. You are criminals working to save the very people who would condemn you. Lara is a pillar of calm in the storm. Her focus is absolute. She seems to thrive on the pressure. She moves through the workshop with a quiet grace, directing her teams, solving impossible equations in her head. Her belief in the project is infectious. It keeps everyone going. One of your technicians, a young woman named Jen, voices her fear. She asks if you are any different from the key, Thar. Building a weapon of such immense power. You look at the device taking shape in the center of the room, a complex lattice of conduits and emitters. It is designed to bleed a star dry. You tell her the difference is in the purpose. The cake, Thar destroy for consumption. You are building this to protect. It is a shield, not just a sword. The words sound good. You try very hard to believe them yourself. You look at Lara. She gives you a small nod, a silent reassurance that your cause is just, even if your methods are extreme. The Grand Praetor of the Conclave summons you. This is not a casual meeting. You are escorted to his private chambers, a place few outsiders have ever seen. Two massive, silent guards flank the entrance. They are members of the Praetor's personal guard, beings of living stone. They watch you with blank, emotionless eyes. The chamber is a sphere of absolute blackness. There are no lights, no furniture, just the Grand Praetor himself. His armored form floats in the center. He is a single point of light and power in the oppressive dark. The message is clear. He is the center of this universe. You are nothing. His voice fills your mind. It is cold and sharp. He says your energy signature has become erratic. Your movements are suspicious. He has been monitoring you since your arrival. He has noted your frequent visits to the Lorien sector. He has noted the unusual cargo manifests. He is not a fool. You keep your expression neutral. Your heart is pounding in your chest. You tell him you are pursuing trade negotiations, exploring cultural exchange with the Loriens. You say you find their engineering arts fascinating. It is a weak lie. You both know it. The pressure in your mind increases. It feels like a physical weight. The Praetor accuses you of disrespecting the Conclave's authority. He reminds you of their ruling. You were forbidden from pursuing your reckless military fantasies. He suspects you are doing exactly that. He tells you a story about a young species that once defied the Conclave, a species that believed its own ambition was more important than galactic stability. They were brilliant. They were powerful. They no longer exist. It is a thinly veiled threat. He is warning you. You hold his gaze. You do not look away. You project an image of calm confidence. You tell him humanity values its place in the galactic community. You assure him you are not violating any laws. You are a diplomat, a friend to the Conclave. Another lie. Your career now seems to be built entirely on them. He seems to accept your answer, for now. The pressure in your mind recedes. He dismisses you. As you turn to leave, his voice echoes one last time. He tells you to be careful. He says the stars are full of beautiful, burning things, and those who fly too close to them often get burned. You walk out of the dark chamber, back into the brightly lit corridors of the station. The stone guards have not moved. They watch you go. You know you have not convinced him. You have only bought yourself a little more time. The Grand Praetor is watching. The gaze of the ancient powers is upon you. And the race against time has become a race against discovery. Alarms blare across Helios station, a piercing, urgent sound that cuts through the daily hum. Red emergency lights flash in every corridor. A synthetic voice echoes from the station speakers. Perimeter breach. Unidentified vessels detected. This is not a drill. You are in the secret workshop when it happens. The alert overrides your private systems. A schematic of the station appears on the main screen. It shows 3 flashing red icons in the outer orbital ring. The HFY have arrived. Sooner than you expected. These must be scouts. A probing attack to test the station's defenses. Lara orders her team to seal the workshop. No one in or out. She brings up the station's external sensor feeds. You see them for the first time. The HFY ships are not made of metal. They are living creatures, monstrous things of chitin and flesh. They look like predatory insects from a nightmare. They move with a frightening speed and agility. They ignore all hails from station command. They open fire. Lances of corrosive energy strike the station's outer shield. The shield flares, absorbing the impact. But you can see the power levels fluctuate. The shield is weakening. The Conclave's defense platforms respond. Beams of pure energy lance out from the station. They strike one of the HFY ships. The beam sizzles against its organic armor. It seems to do very little damage. The creature heals itself almost instantly. It is like throwing stones at a charging beast. One of your human technicians shouts. He points to the energy readings. The Conclave's weapons are powerful, but they are designed for conventional warships. They are ineffective against the HFY's bioregenerative hulls. The Elder Ones are fighting the last war. Their tactics are dangerously obsolete. Panic begins to spread through the station. You can hear it in the rising chatter on the public comms channels. The Conclave's calm reassurances are starting to sound hollow. The invincible defense grid is not so invincible after all. One of the K-Thar ships breaks past the weapon platforms. It dives toward the station itself. It fires its main weapon. A stream of acid-like matter smashes into a residential ring. The shield in that section overloads and collapses. A section of the ring explodes in a silent flash of fire and debris. The voice on the intercom reports massive casualties. The reality of the threat is now undeniable. It is no longer a distant possibility. It is here. It is killing people. The Conclave's pride has a body count. You watch the screen, your fists clenched. You feel a cold, burning anger. This did not have to happen. The two remaining scout ships press their attack. They focus their fire on the weakened shield section. The Conclave fleet finally scrambles to engage. Their ships are beautiful and elegant. Masterpieces of ancient design, they are also hopelessly outmatched. The Thar ships tear through them with brutal efficiency. Lara looks at you. The calm has finally broken. You see fear in her eyes, and a new, hard resolve. She says the Starfire initiative is not ready. The containment field is unstable. The targeting system is untested. To use it now would be a massive gamble. You look at the screen. You see another Conclave ship torn apart. You hear the rising panic on the comms. You know there is no other choice. The Conclave's defenses are failing. Their fleets are being destroyed. The gamble is all you have left. The first test by the enemy was a brutal success, and it has sealed your fate. The scout attack is over as quickly as it began. The 3 Thar ships retreat into the void. They leave behind a trail of wreckage and death. A deep scar is carved into the station's residential ring. The invincible fortress has been wounded. The illusion of safety is shattered. Fear is a tangible thing on Helios Station now. The confident swagger of the elder races is gone, replaced by a quiet, nervous energy. The Conclave is in emergency session. They are trying to understand what happened, how their perfect defenses could have failed so completely. In your secret workshop, the mood is grim. The attack changes everything. The main Thar fleet will be coming now. The scouts have reported a soft target. You no longer have months or weeks. You have days at best. Maybe only hours. Lara runs a diagnostic on the Starfire weapon. Her fingers fly across the console. The report is not good. The primary plasma injector is showing microfractures. The gravitic lensing array is out of alignment. The system is 90% complete, but the final 10% is the most critical. To activate it now is a desperate gamble. The containment field might not hold. If it fails, it will not just fizzle out. It will detonate with the force of a supernova. It would vaporize the station. It would destabilize the star itself. It would destroy the entire system. You face an impossible choice. Rush the project and risk killing everyone yourself. Or wait until it is ready and risk being destroyed by the Thar. It feels like choosing between fire and the void. Both options lead to utter annihilation. Jen, your young technician, looks pale. She asks if there is any other way. Can you not reason with them? You shake your head. The Thar do not negotiate. They consume. They are a biological imperative given starships. There is no reasoning with a hurricane. You make the decision. You have to accelerate the plan. You tell Lara to bypass the final safety checks, to push the system to its absolute limits. Forget stability, forget caution. You just need it to work. Once. Lara protests. She is an engineer. Her entire philosophy is built on precision and safety. What you are asking her to do goes against every instinct she has. She calls it reckless, suicidal. You look her in the eye. You tell her that you are already dead. The K, Thar, have sentenced you all to death. The only question is whether you go down fighting, whether you take them with you. Your job is not to be safe. Your job is to win. A fire ignites in her dark eyes. The fear is replaced by a fierce determination. The Lorian engineer gives way to the desperate survivor. She nods. She turns back to her console and begins issuing new orders. The work continues at a feverish, frantic pace. The risk is now catastrophic. Every component you install is a roll of the dice. Every connection is a prayer. The hum of the machine grows louder, more unstable. It feels like you are building a bomb in the middle of a munitions depot. The slightest mistake will be your last. The weight of your decision settles on you. You have just gambled the fate of billions on an unfinished superweapon. A weapon that is just as likely to kill you as the enemy. The Conclave wanted you to stop playing with fire. Now, you are trying to wrestle with the sun itself. A sudden, jarring explosion rocks the workshop. Not from outside the station, from within. The lights flicker and die. Emergency power kicks in, casting the room in a dim, red glow. Sparks rain down from a ruptured conduit on the ceiling. One of the main power junctions has blown. Lara shouts commands. Her team rushes to contain the damage. It is not an accident. The diagnostic screen shows a deliberate power surge, an overload directed at a critical system. Someone has sabotaged your work. Your security officer grabs you. He points to a service tunnel hatch on the far side of the room. The hatch is closing. Someone is trying to escape. You draw your sidearm. You sprint across the workshop floor. You will not let them get away. You dive through the hatch just before it seals shut. You find yourself in a narrow, dark maintenance corridor. You can hear footsteps echoing ahead of you. You give chase. The corridor is a maze of pipes and cables. The air is thick with the smell of ozone. You round a corner and see him. He is a member of the Conclave's administrative staff. HFY, Lin, a species known for their rigid loyalty to the old ways. You saw him in the Grand Praetor's chambers. He looks at you with a mixture of fear and fanaticism. He raises a small device, a localized EMP emitter. He plans to disable the entire workshop from a distance, to finish the job. He shouts at you. He calls you a heretic, a monster. He says your human weapon is an abomination, an insult to the star. He believes the Conclave's ways are sacred, that it is better to die with honor than to survive through what he calls blasphemy. He fears your plan more than he fears the K, Thar. To him, you are the greater evil. You try to talk to him, to make him see reason. But his eyes are wild with conviction. He is a true believer. He would rather see the station burn than allow a human to save it. You realize with a sickening certainty that this betrayal was inevitable. The old guard would rather break the world than let it change. He triggers the device. You fire your weapon at the same time. Not to kill, you aim for his hand. Your shot is true. The EMP emitter flies from his grasp. It clatters to the metal floor. His shot is a wave of energy that washes over you. Your sidearm shorts out. Your comms device goes dead. He turns to run, but your security team arrives behind you. They block his path. He is trapped. His attempt at sabotage has failed, but he has done serious damage, and he has cost you precious, irreplaceable time. The Cake, Thar, are coming, and now you must fight a war on two fronts, one against the enemy without, and one against the enemy within. The comms system crackles back to life. A station-wide alert from the Grand Praetor himself. He is addressing the entire population of Helios Station. His voice is grave. He announces that long-range sensors have detected an armada. Thousands of K-Thar bioships. They will arrive within the hour. Panic erupts. The carefully maintained order of the station dissolves into chaos. On the public channels, you hear fear, desperation, the prayers of a dozen different species. The Conclave's hollow reassurances have finally met a brutal reality. The Grand Praetor summons you and Lara to the main Conclave chamber. Not as guests this time, as prisoners. You are escorted by his stone guards. The saboteur has talked. Your secret is out. You walk through corridors filled with terrified citizens. They look at you with a mixture of hope and accusation. They have heard rumors of a human superweapon. You enter the great chamber. The entire conclave is assembled. Their usual arrogance is gone, replaced by a palpable fear. The Grand Praetor's light seems dimmer, less confident. He accuses you of high treason, of endangering the entire system with your reckless project. Sor, the crystalline being, shimmers with rage. He says you have brought this doom upon them, that your meddling has provoked the enemy. It is a desperate, illogical accusation. But the other members nod in agreement. They need someone to blame. And you are the perfect target. Lara steps forward. She speaks with a calm, clear voice that cuts through the panic. She tells them they are fools, blinded by pride. She says their inaction has doomed them all. She confesses to her part in the project. She stands with you, a lone voice of reason against a chorus of fear. You interrupt them all. You shout that you have no time for this. The enemy is at the door. Their judgments do not matter anymore. All that matters is survival. You activate your personal data slate. You project the schematics for the Starfire initiative into the center of the chamber. You show them everything: the magnetic containment field, the plasma focusing array, the plan to turn their sun into the biggest gun in the galaxy. You unveil the unthinkable weapon. They stare in stunned silence. The sheer audacity of the plan is beyond their comprehension. Some look horrified. They see it as a desecration of a star, a cosmic sin. Others look on with a dawning, desperate hope. Madness it may be, but it is a plan. It is more than they have. The Grand Praetor stares at the schematic. His voice echoes in your mind. He accuses you of trying to kill everyone. He says you cannot control such power, that you will ignite the star and consume them all. He orders his guards to seize you, to shut down your project. But it is too late. A new voice cuts through the chamber, the station's communication officer. He sounds terrified. He says he is receiving a broadcast. From the lead K-Thar vessel, the enemy is delivering their ultimatum. The final act has begun. The main view screen in the conclave chamber flickers to life. It shows the face of the enemy. It is a terrifying sight. The cased Thar broodmother floats in a tank of nutrient fluid. Her ancient, malevolent intelligence stares out at you. It is a gaze that has witnessed the death of 1,000 worlds. Her voice is a chorus of chittering, psychic screams. It grates against your mind. She does not speak of conquest or glory. She speaks of hunger, of cleansing. She tells you that your station is a blight, an unnatural growth on the fabric of reality. She is here to correct it. The ultimatum is simple. Surrender the station and all its inhabitants. Her swarm needs the biological matter to reproduce. Your star is rich in the heavy elements her fleet requires for fuel. Your existence is an inconvenience, but your deaths will be useful. There is no negotiation, no room for compromise. Surrender and be consumed, or resist and be scoured from existence. She gives you one of your own hours to decide. 1 hour until she begins the harvest. The broadcast ends. The face of the broodmother vanishes, leaving behind a stunned, terrified silence. All eyes in the conclave chamber turn to the Grand Praetor, the great leader, the immortal being who has guided them for millennia. He is silent. His light flickers. For the first time in 10,000 years, he does not have an answer. His power, his wisdom, his tradition, all of it is useless against this absolute, ravenous hunger. The members of the conclave devolve into panicked arguments. Some scream for surrender, others for a futile last stand. They are a government in collapse, an empire dying on its feet. All their pride and protocol has turned to dust. You step forward. All your anger and frustration is gone, replaced by a cold, clear purpose. You have the only weapon that matters now. You are the only one with a real plan. You look directly at the Grand Praetor. You ask for his command codes for the station's energy grid. You need to reroute all power to the Starfire weapon. He refuses. He still sees you as the greater threat. But Lara is already working. She is a Lorian. Her people built the grid. She does not need his permission. She needs his password. And she is very, very good at finding such things. You turn to the communications officer. You tell him to open a channel back to the Thar flagship. The Grand Praetor shouts at you to stop. But no one is listening to him anymore. The officer looks at you, then at the Praetor, then back at you. He sees the crumbling past and the terrifying future. He opens the channel. You are the human ambassador, and you are about to deliver your species' defiant response. You tell the broodmother to listen closely. You tell her humanity has a message for her. A message from a small, stubborn species that does not like being threatened. You tell her you are not surrendering. You are not running. You are not food. You look out at the view screen, at the approaching swarm of bioships. You tell her she wanted a harvest. You tell her to come and get it. Then you end the transmission. The chamber is silent. You just declared war on behalf of the entire system. Now, you have about 50 minutes to win it. You race back to the secret workshop. The chaos on the station is your cover. No one tries to stop you. Lara and your team are already there. They have repaired the sabotage damage as best they can. The weapon is online, unstable, untested, but online. Lara has done it. She has control of the station's primary energy grid. She begins the great reroute, shunting power from every non-essential system. The lights on the station dim. Artificial gravity fluctuates. Life support is diverted. The entire station is now just a power source for your weapon. The final command console is before you. A single, glowing activation panel. The system is automated from this point. Once you give the command, the sequence is irreversible. The station will draw a filament of plasma from the sun. It will contain it in a magnetic bottle. It will compress it, and it will fire it. Or it will explode. The weight of this moment is immense. The fate of everyone on this station, billions of souls, rests on your command. The conclave, the Lorians, your own human staff. The terrified families huddled in the shelters. Their lives are in your hands. You are playing God with a star. Jen, the young technician, stands beside you. She is no longer pale with fear. Her eyes are clear and focused. She runs the final diagnostic. She looks at you and nods. Ready as it will ever be, sir. Her voice is steady. Her courage gives you strength. You place your hand on the activation panel. It feels warm to the touch. You look at the main screen. It shows the HFY fleet. They are moving into attack formation. A vast, terrifying crescent of living warships. They are almost in range. You think about the saboteur, the loyalist who called your weapon a blasphemy. Maybe he was right. What gives you the right to do this? To unleash such a terrible power, to risk so much? To gamble with the lives of so many? Then you think about the HFY broodmother, her cold, hungry eyes, the promise of consumption. The fate she offers is not just death, it is oblivion, to be turned into fuel and forgotten. Humanity did not come this far to become someone else's meal. You take a deep breath. You say a silent prayer. To whom, you are not sure. You push the panel. The command is given. The final sequence begins. Now, all you can do is watch and hope you have not just doomed them all. Your hand is steady. Your choice is made. The hum of the weapon rises to a deafening roar. The entire workshop vibrates. The lights flicker wildly. On the main screen, you see it happen. A colossal magnetic lance erupts from Helios station. It spears into the fiery surface of the sun. The station groans under the strain. It is like a fish hooking a whale. A river of pure, incandescent plasma is drawn from the star. A filament of fire 1,000 miles thick. It flows along the magnetic conduit, towards the station, towards the containment field. The Starfire device glows with an impossible brightness. It is holding the power of a sun in a bottle. The energy readings are off the scale. Lara is shouting, but you cannot hear her over the noise. She is pointing at the containment field integrity. It is dropping. 90%. 80%. It is not going to hold. The HFY fleet sees what is happening. They break formation. Some of them fire on the station, trying to disrupt the beam. But they are too late. They seem to realize their mistake. The hunter has become the prey. They begin to scatter, to flee. The targeting system locks on. The coordinates of the HFY command ship, the broodmother's vessel, are fixed. The containment field is at 50%. Alarms are screaming. The station's hull is beginning to buckle. You have seconds left before a catastrophic failure. Just as the field is about to collapse, the sequence completes. The weapon fires. It is not a beam. It is not a projectile. It is a wave. A directed solar flare. A tsunami of pure, primal stellar fury. It erupts from the station at nearly the speed of light. The light is blinding. Every screen goes white. Every sensor overloads. The workshop is bathed in an unholy glow. The roar of the weapon ceases, replaced by a sudden, shocking silence. The power dies. The entire station is adrift. Dark, silent. You stumble to the main view screen as it reboots. The image is distorted. But you can see. The space where the HFY fleet was massing is now empty. The wave of sunfire washed over them. It scoured them from existence. The plasma was not just hot. It was elemental. It unmade them at a molecular level. A few HFY ships on the outer edges of the blast survived. They are damaged, fleeing in terror. The great swarm is broken. The unstoppable plague has been stopped. You have unleashed the sun's primal fury. You have stared into the heart of a star and made it blink. Darkness. Silence. The station floats dead in space. Emergency power has not yet returned. For a long, terrifying moment, you think you have failed. That the station is gone. That you have traded one death for another. Then the lights flicker on. A low, steady hum returns. Lara's emergency systems are kicking in. She has saved the station from total collapse. The workshop is a wreck, but you are alive. The main view screen clears. It shows the aftermath. Where the HFY fleet once was, there is now only shimmering, superheated gas. The void has been cleansed by fire. The sun, Helios, looks unchanged. Your weapon drew only a tiny fraction of its power. A pinprick, but it was enough. A comms channel opens. It is the Grand Praetor. His voice is not in your mind this time. It is over the speakers. Shaky, weakened. He asks for a status report. He sounds like an old man. His 10,000 years of certainty have been shattered in an instant. You report that the HFY fleet is neutralized. The station is damaged, but operational. There are casualties from the power transfer. But the station has survived. You have won. There is a long silence from the conclave chamber. You can picture them. The elder ones, staring at the empty space where their doom was supposed to be. Trying to comprehend the power you just unleashed. Trying to understand how a primitive, reckless species could wield the fire of a star. When the Grand Praetor speaks again, his voice is different. The arrogance is gone. The condescension has vanished. All that remains is a profound, humbled awe. He says nothing more. He simply closes the channel. There are no words. You have not just defeated the HFY. You have shattered the foundation of galactic politics. The old order, built on ancient tradition and technological stagnation, is broken. Humanity is no longer the upstart child. You are the species that tamed a sun. In the days that follow, a new reality takes shape. The conclave is silent. They retreat to their chambers to contemplate their failure. Their authority is gone. No one fears their judgment anymore. Everyone fears the species that can turn a star into a weapon. A new alliance forms, not in a grand chamber, but in your wrecked workshop. The Lorians are the first. They see a future built on innovation and daring, a partnership between their precision and your audacity. Other species follow, the ones who were dismissed by the conclave, the practical, the brave, the ones who value survival over pride. You are no longer just an ambassador. You are the architect of a new age. Helios Station is no longer just a place of talk. It is the fortress of a new power in the galaxy. A power forged in secret, tested by an implacable foe, and born in the heart of a star. You look out the viewport at the sun. It burns as it always has, a symbol of life and creation. But now, it is also a symbol of power, a reminder of what you did. A new dawn has come to this system, a dawn forged in fire, and you are the one who lit the match.